Hey YouTube, it's blinkycab, it's coming down. Before I start this video, I just want to say I forgot my gloves. It's the first time I've ever forgotten my gloves, but you know, it's funny because I actually didn't realise for a while. I was riding along and I kind of said to myself, this doesn't feel right, something feels off. And then I realised, hey Blinky, you're not wearing your gloves, you dickhead. So yeah, a bit weird, but alright, so I'm going to talk to you today about the cons of owning a motorcycle and owning only a motorcycle. So in no specific order, the first con would have to be the weather. Now, the rain is what adversely affects me. You can still ride in the rain, but it's very uncomfortable, it's very unenjoyable, and for me, I don't own any wet weather gear. You know, if I get caught in the rain, I get absolutely drenched. I get pools of water collecting in my gloves, in my shoes, you know, in my pants. I just get wet. And it's not really fun. Especially when I wake up in those mornings and I have to go to work and it's raining. So I'm not really caught out in the rain so much. Like, I know it's raining and I know I have to ride to work through the rain, so I can almost prepare for it. Usually I'll throw like some spare work clothes and shoes in a plastic bag and shove it down in my jacket, you know, so I look like I'm overweight, but when I get to work then I'm all drenched and wet, yeah, but at least I've got a spare change of clothes to change into, so. But then there's like the snow. Now the snow doesn't affect me, but I know there's a lot of people in the world that can't ride their bike for like months at a time when it's snowing, like when it's winter, and man, that's just crazy. Like, if it's raining, you know, okay, maybe I wouldn't be able to ride my bike for a few days or something, but I mean, shit man, imagine not being able to ride your bike for a few months. I mean, that's out of control. Do you think that's out of control? I think that's out of control. My visor was down, but I still managed to get something in my eye. Does that ever happen to you? You're riding along and something gets stuck in your eye even though your visor's down? So yeah, I mean, like the rain shit, the snow is shit, and then there's summer. Now you can still ride in summer. Summer's actually probably pretty good weather other than the temperature. I mean, it's pretty hot, and if you're all kitted up in your protective gear, it can get very hot. I usually just ride in shorts, which I know I get a lot of stick about, but hey, I still love you all guys. But I mean, yeah, if it's like a 40°C summer day and you're, you know, got all of your gear on, it's gonna get pretty hot. So I mean, yeah, the weather, you know, if you only have a bike and you have to use it to get everywhere that you need to be, then, you know, the weather's probably gonna piss you off at certain times. Second thing would be danger. Now, motorcycles carry a certain level of danger. It's higher than most vehicles because you are out in the open. You know, if someone hits you, you're going to go down, sort of thing. Every vehicle has a certain degree of danger, but I think a motorcycle's level of danger is much higher. So you have to be careful, you have to ride smart, you have to ride cautious, because these other drivers, these cages as we call them, you know, they don't give a shit about bikes really, they really don't. The only time that a cage is going to care about a motorcyclist is usually when it's one of us motorcyclists behind the wheel of a car. That's when we'll care, that's when a driver will care, when they are a motorcyclist too. But I mean, when they check their mirrors and they check their hang on, if they check their mirrors and if they check their blind spots, they're most of the time just checking for other cars, they're not looking for a motorcycle, so. And I mean, even if you have a slow speed accident and you do have protective gear on, you're still going to get the wind knocked out of you, so. You know, and if you're not wearing protective gear, like me, if I'm riding along in shorts, I am actually wearing jeans today. Not that that really does much. But I mean, if I'm riding along in shorts and someone hits me and I come off, my knees are going to be seriously banged up. And I'm going to spend the next few weeks in hospital thinking, why, oh why, didn't I take the blue pill? And then, you know, so they're dangerous, just be safe. That might be a bit scary for people that are new to the roads, or, you know, they have parents that love them heaps. And then probably the third and last con would have to be transport. Now this was also a pro, but it's a con for maybe a different reason. Transporting on a bike. Now, I can't really transport anything on my bike. I mean, at best I can put a DVD under the seat, or, you know, if I've got a backpack, then I can, I suppose, fill that. But I can't go and, you know, do the grocery shopping on my bike. You know, I can't go and pick up 3 of my friends and go for a road trip to the beach on my bike. I recently bought a guitar and an amp, which I was unable to pick up on my bike. I could have tried, and I mean, that would have been hell funny, you know, the Fender amp on the fuel tank, and maybe I could have slung the guitar around my back on its strap, and, you know, I probably would have looked like some rockin' motorcycle muso from the future or something. But no, it's a little unsafe. So things like that, I mean, if you only own a bike, you're going to find yourself in some tough situations sooner or later. So the conclusion would have to be, make sure that you have access to a car. My girlfriend has a car. So, you know, if I want to do the grocery shopping, I'll use the car. You know, if I buy a guitar and an amp, I'll use the car. And if I want to pick up 3 of my friends to go for a road trip to the beach, I'll use the car. So, I'm not always stuck. I mean, I still have those mornings where it's raining and I'm sort of stuck riding through it. But, you know, I'm not as stuck as I would be had I, you know, be a loner with no friends and no family and no car accessible to me. So, let's go right here and see where it takes me. So yeah, if you're thinking about buying a bike and it's going to be your only mode of transport, just be aware that you will be in situations where you will say, God, I wish I had a car right now. I've been in a few of those situations myself. Mainly every morning when it's raining and I have to go to work. That's the biggest for me. That's the biggest. But yeah, I mean, I know... Sorry, I sort of fucked the gears then. A lot of people that own motorbikes, you know, they own a car as well, and they might only ride the bike on the weekend as a hobby or something, or, you know, but for everything else, they just use their car. So, anyway, just think about it. I think owning a motorcycle is absolutely fantastic, you know, and I actually couldn't picture myself without a bike. But there are certainly times when I wish I had a car, so I'm just lucky that I have a girlfriend that has a car. Otherwise, if I didn't have a car accessible to me, I would probably have thought twice before buying a bike, because I would have thought, well, what am I going to do in certain situations? But yeah, I'm sure most people can find someone that has a car. Anyway, I love you all. Da 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 da.